destroy us.
They're going to destroy.
We're here live Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to simulcast the second, third, and fourth hour today, live streaming video. More than just a webcam, multicam shoot, document cam, video clips. Get to see the research we do live on air as I call for Googling of articles and documents at prisonplanet.tv. We then archive it for prisonplanet.tv members, along with thousands of previous shows we've done. All 20 plus of my films. Expanded extras from the DVDs only at prisonplanet.tv. My book, now out of print. Paul Watson's book, now out of print. Old archive shows from over a decade that we've posted there from local access. 6 years up and running in April. prisonplanet.tv, 15 cents a day, $5.95 a month. Get a year membership instead of a monthly trial and get 3 months free. We always do that Christmas special where you sign up during Christmas, you get 5.5 months, but hey, 3 months free. prisonplanet.tv. Okay, what I'm going to do is in the third and fourth hour, we're going to have open phones on the Geithner and Paulson hearings. We're going to get into all the other news, but in the next hour, I want to focus in on the imploding. And when I say imploding, folks, I mean imploding. Past my wildest dreams. This is unbelievable. This is turning into an absolute, complete rout. And the headline states it at prisonplanet.com by Paul Watson. Global warming fraud collapses amidst deception and scandal. I have a giant stack of news I'm going to be covering in the next hour. James Dillingpole will be joining us. He writes for the Times of London, the Sunday Times, the Daily Telegraph, and for The Spectator. He's going to be with us for a full hour to chronicle the complete and total implosion and rout of these criminals. Now, their cult, their Gaia cult, their anti-private property cult is still operating all over the world, but they are completely discredited. We must rout them. But at the international level, the fraud has imploded. Every day, multiple confirmed reports come out of premeditated fraud by the UN and their allied universities in racketeering, doing this by design. Every day, 4, 5, 6 huge bombshells that I can't even believe. That dwarf ClimateGate. Not just them talking about covering stuff up and hiding the decline in temperature and how it's natural, but the UN knowing that man has no effect on the atmosphere. The sun is just unbelievably powerful. The fact that they know the Himalayas aren't melting. The fact that they, of course, knew that glaciers get bigger in the winter, smaller in the summer. There's a natural contracting and expanding. The fact that they knew there's always an ozone hole naturally over the poles in different times of year. The fact that they know polar bears are exploding in numbers and are the greatest land swimmer. I mean, I didn't need them to tell me that was a fraud when saying they couldn't swim. You know, I read all this children education literature because we homeschool, and I read it all. I mean, I read tons of it, and it just, every one of them states that polar bears are all basically dying and can't swim, and that penguins can't swim. I mean, come on. 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 5, it equals 4. Penguins are aquatic birds. Polar bears hunt in the water. We'll be right back.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
After Climate Gate, Pachari Gate, Glacier Gate, Amazon Gate, and you've got racketeering globally. That document came out 2 months ago with the UN going and organizing key universities to engage in fraud. We go look at each university, Canada, Australia, the U.S., New Zealand, England. They are all cooking the books, cutting out temperature data that shows that we're cooling. In the last 10 years at least, the heating ended 15 years ago. You've got Pachari making all this money. This is unprecedented because the entire globalist agenda for the UN, IMF, World Bank to set up world taxation and to be able to shut down or curtail any industry that isn't part of their inside coterie, it's all imploding. But the battle isn't over. We've won a lot of big battles. We've now got the initiative. We can beat them, but they're ensconced. They're dug in. We're going to have to go house to house with these people in our towns, our cities. Schwarzenegger's organizing governors and mayors to take over locally. Absolute treason. He needs to go back to his own country. They'll sure kick him out in Austria. James Dillingpole writes regularly for the Times of London, the Sunday Times, the Daily Telegraph. He's also a TV critic for The Spectator. He is the author of various novels, including, and we'll tell you about some of those. Also, well, he's a best-selling author and one of the great analysts breaking down what these people are up to. We'll also give you his website. This is a short segment, but James, is it safe to say, or let me ask you this question, is this exploding in their face in an even bigger fashion than you thought ClimateGate would originally?
Definitely. I thought Christmas had come early with ClimateGate. It seems that next Christmas has come early as well, because this has been fantastic. We are having so many scandals, I almost can't keep up with it. But that's the good news. The bad news is, as Shakespeare said, we have scotched the snake but not killed it. And that's the problem. The snake, I think, the great AGW, anthropogenic global warming snake, is much more dangerous now it's wounded. I think you're going to see all sorts of devious attempts by the IPCC, by the various green movements, to try and trick their way out of the situation. And we've got to be on our guard.
They've gone from stonewalling to now the BBC, The Age, and others going, oh, there were a few bad scientists that meant well because they know how real the problem is. And we now see the IPCC head and others saying, well, we did want to make it look worse because it is a real problem. So now they're saying we lied to save you.
Well, it's interesting, Alex. Are your listeners familiar with Dr. Rajendra Pachauri, the guy in charge, the beardy guy? He looks a bit like, I call him the troll impersonator. He looks a bit like Saruman from Lord of the Rings.
Well, he looks like Osama bin Laden's older brother.
He does. Yeah, his ugly older brother. Yeah, that's the guy. Well, this Dr. Pachauri, he's in charge of the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And as you know, he's been exposed for having all sorts of extraordinarily diverse business connections. You know, he's heavily involved in carbon trading. He's even got an involvement in an oil company, which is kind of weird, given that he's supposed to be saving the planet from big oil. Anyway, you know, he's in it up to the neck in carbon trading, which is a kind of, I think the most polite way of putting it is he has certain conflicts of interest. Okay, so this has been going on for quite some time. He's been exposed by us gallant bloggers. And who are the guys calling most loudly for his resignation? Why, funnily enough, they are the environmentalists.
All right, stay there, James. James Dillingpole, top writer over in England, author, researcher, somebody who's really been tracking this fraud. Long segment coming up. I want to just go through all the new scandals one by one, each one dwarfing ClimateGate, each one more wild. And you said it. It's 5 or 6 new scandals a day. I can't even keep track of it, but we're going to try here today. Stay with us.
What's your home worth? How can you compare local real estate agents? And how do you get MLS listings for the entire country? If you're thinking of buying a home to take advantage of the tax credit or selling your house, you first need to see an incredible website called HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com will help you find a realtor to buy or sell a home